Hi everyone, my name is Deb Holland. Thanks for joining me today for this video blog. Today we're going to dive more in depth into my book, Taming the Toxic Workplace, which is available on Amazon.com and on my website, debhollandlcsw.com. Last week we talked about the introduction to the topic, and today we're going to start getting into the heart of the matter, which is if you're dealing with the toxic workplace, there are really three sources of trouble. There are issues with coworkers or leaders or the system, or a combination of all of the above. So what do I mean by each of these things? So coworkers, we're going to get into later some major issues that you can see develop in the workplace that people have as individuals. So if a coworker is impaired in some way, or if they are just a really abusive person, or whatever the case may be, that is what I mean by having issues with coworkers. So lots of people have that in the workplace. Now in healthy workplaces, good leaders shut that behavior down. Good leaders rein in that behavior so that people are protected from the abusive or the impaired individual, and just as importantly, from a leadership perspective in terms of the mission, and an employee's perspective in terms of their own personal productivity, those leaders also have to focus on making sure that the impaired or abusive coworker does not have the opportunity to trash the mission or the people along the way. So it affects not just people, but it affects productivity and what the organization is there to accomplish in and of itself. The next category is leaders. This is where you can really run into some serious trouble. If you have a leader who is abusive or a leader who is impaired in some way, and like I said, we're going to talk about those types of impairments later in a future video blog, but for today it's just enough to know that if you're having issues with your leadership, that is a really serious thing, and there's a systematic approach for walking through how it might be possible for you to deal with that kind of a situation. If you have a complicated situation where you have impaired or abusive coworkers and impaired or abusive leaders, you've got a really toxic powder keg going on there that makes it really difficult to deal with things. So there's one more aspect of trying to figure things out that can make or break the situation for you, the person who's being damaged by the toxic workplace, and that is the system. The system itself, whether it's a board of directors, whether it's some other kind of governance structure, whether it's the headquarters that's located somewhere else in the country, and you're one of many, many different work sites across the country. What about the system itself? Because if the system itself is inherently unjust, if the system itself is inherently abusive, and if it's corrupt, there is hope for you to get through that situation, but there's not a lot of hope to actually fix the situation in its entirety. So we're going to talk in future videos about how to weigh out each of these things, because if you have a situation where a coworker is messed up, but you have a good leader and you have a good system, you're probably going to get that problem resolved or reined in. If you have a situation where the coworker and the leader and the system are all messed up, those are the toughest situations you can deal with. But no matter what it is that you're facing, hang in there. There's hope. If you can't wait for the video blogs to come out, you can go to my website. There's a bunch of written blogs on there. You can go to Amazon or my website. You can buy the book. It's under $10. I've priced it very affordably so that everyone can benefit from it. So hang in there. There's hope. We're going to get there. We're going to help you figure out how to deal with the situation so that you can take your life back. Thanks for joining me today.